Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. As always, I'm Ari here with Korea. Another day baseball games. We'll be sorting out a couple of nerfies soon. Something bad happened to Korea just now, and the
Um,
Marlins.
I just, I just saw the starting pitcher for my Nerfy. He's throwing a football. Oh god. Oh god.
Well,
This might be a long six inning. This might be a long six outs, people. Oh brother.
just need 3 outs from him, I guess. But we'll start off with recapping our bets from yesterday. 1 and 2 day for you, Korea. 2 tough losses, and then you got the one win that I think was in the bottom of the fifth with the Mariners. What do you take away from your 3 bets yesterday?
Yeah, I mean Braves Astros 1 run away. Tough. I mean, you know, you get what you get sometimes. That was a tough one. I was just backing, on the fact that there were going to be runs scored throughout this game, and the Braves obviously showed up. But the one caveat is the Astros. I thought, they were actually going to show up yesterday against Ronaldo Lopez. They could not do anything, and that's something that I was a little surprised to see. Put up 2 runs. Just tough day on the base path for the Houston Astros at home. Obviously I knew the Braves and their offense. They actually did strike pretty early against Hunter Brown, and I knew that they were going to pretty much continue that throughout the game. And they put up 6 runs, but the Astros couldn't do their part, so we were 1 run short. So it's just a tough beat there. And then obviously the Yankees and Blue Jays. Like I said, another one where we're just 1 run short again, and or just a cut, and just. The Yankees and Blue Jays, this series has been such a weird series because, pitchers where you don't expect to be dealing are dealing. And, I thought we could get, a bounce back, since we did have that first 5 under 4.5 the previous day. I thought yesterday it was going to be just a reverse of that with the over, with runs being scored, and both offenses decided not to show up again. So, relying on offenses not to show up once again, that's kind of been, our one, kind of been, the knife in the back per se. The offense is not showing up once again. But shout out to the Mariners offense showing up. That has been the one thing that has been, great to see my Mariners, their offense showing up again. Obviously, I took them first 5 money line wearing the shirt. Obviously, that was a nice winner yesterday. Obviously, nice to see. The Mariners have had, pretty decent success. I kind of, figured that they were going to get to 100 green eventually. It took a little bit, for the Mariners offense to kind of get things going, but they finally slowly got, themselves moving on the base path after 100 green. He's either going to walk people, or he's either going to throw fastballs, and you're going to be, hitting those into the seats potentially. And Haniger had a good look there, and it's just nice to see. Obviously, we had one winner yesterday out of the 3-card slate we did give out. But Ari, I know the Warriors first half. We're not going to talk about that game. But how did your other 2 plays do?
Yeah, 1-2 for me as well. The Lakers won. They probably got a little lucky. They blew, a huge lead, and then Zion got hurt with like 3 minutes left when they had 40 and missed the last 3 minutes. So if he was healthy, who knows what happens. But Lakers held on. Warriors, there's not much to say. The Kings controlled the entire game from first quarter to fourth quarter. The second quarter, the Warriors cut it close for them to, for the game, obviously. But the first half was never close. And then the Red Sox, they fell behind big early, came back. I think that they had like 5 runs in the 5th or 6th inning to tie it. And then it goes to extra innings. They avoid a big inning in the top of the 10th when Cleveland had the bases loaded, tie it in the bottom of the 10th, and then Cleveland scores 3 in the top of the 11th, and they end up going on. I think they won by 3, I believe. So yeah, 1-2 day for both of us. Moving on, look to do better today.
Yeah, obviously, tough day for both of us. Obviously, the 1 and 3 days for both of us. The Lakers, obviously, I did watch that game, and if you had the Lakers money line through the first like 3.5 quarters, that was sweat free, and then all of a sudden the Pelicans started to come back. You mentioned Zion Williamson getting injured again late, but even with that, Pelicans come back just not enough to beat the Lakers. So that was the one winner for you. We're not going to get into a single conversation about what happened with my Warriors yesterday, and I'm staring at my Klay Thompson jersey right now. Oh, God. Just a headache that was. And then, obviously, you mentioned the Red Sox, down early, had to come back. But, when you're down early, especially by that much, it's kind of hard to make that up in a baseball game. But, the Red Sox did obviously make that effort, but just come up a little short. So 1-2 day for both of us, obviously 2-4 on the total day. So we're going to hopefully bounce back. But obviously first, just to, obviously clear things up. Obviously the reason why we are streaming live right now is because we have a couple Nerfies. Yes, we are back running it back with the Nerfie streams. Now we couldn't really agree on one that we really liked. We both were going to look at the Orioles and Twins, but Ari is taking that up. But unfortunately, Tyler Wells did get scratched because he obviously due to I believe it was an illness or something. So a replacement pitcher comes in. So that kind of screws things up for the Orioles Twins Nerfie. So Ari is still going to be on that. Obviously, he did not cash out. And then personally for me, the other one I did like in this little slate here on the 10 a.m. slate, 1 p.m. Eastern slate here is the Padres and the Brewers here. I'm taking the first. I'm taking the no-run first inning here. I got that at around -120 or 125. I saw Michael King and his splits. We're taking even though the Brewers are hot at home, I still think Michael King, one of the better pitchers. And also the key piece in that trade. From the Juan Soto trade, I think he can get 3 outs. And then obviously we got to go to the other side, and it was Brian Wilson. I think it was Brian Wilson, but he spelled it like Bryne. It was that was the guy who was throwing the football. It was tough to see. I immediately turned on my screen. This man's trying to drop back like he's Aaron Rodgers playing for the Packers. Like, buddy, you're on the Brewers. You're not on the Packers. You gotta throw a baseball, not a football. And so, anyway, so I expect him to get 3 outs. I've seen his. He's obviously it's a bullpen day for the Brewers, so I believe that they can get 3 outs with one of their better relievers, especially with this Brewers team having one of the better bullpens this year. So Ari, obviously on the Orioles and Twins, obviously it's Pablo Lopez against I think Albert Suarez. Very interesting matchup. Lopez has great splits against this Orioles team, and then obviously it was Tyler Wells, but unfortunately, as I said earlier, he got scratched. So obviously we can hope for 6 outs for Ari's side, 6 outs for my side. We're going to be streaming this live right here, so we're going to be tuning into that in the background as we give our daily picks today. But here are my picks for today. We're going to bounce back today. Obviously, we are all about moving forward, and here are my 3. We're going to start right. I know this game starts right now pretty much, but I'm taking the Rangers through the first 5 here. But I got it at +115, and the reason I'm taking the Rangers is because I think they're the better team in this matchup. The Rangers, their offense has been really, really quiet in Detroit for this past couple days, only scoring 2 runs in the first game, and then run yet. I think it was 2 yesterday, and then 1 or the day before, but whatever it was, a total of 3 runs in 2 games. This offense has been kind of slow, and now they face Tariq Skubal, who I even know is one of the better pitchers in baseball, in my opinion. I think personally that the splits against this Texas Rangers team, aren't really the greatest in my opinion, and so that's why I personally think that for me, I think that it's definitely going to be definitely hard for this Tigers team to really catch up, because on the other side you got to look. They're facing Dane Dunning, and Dane Dunning has great splits. Don't worry, people. Ari said he'll be right back, and here's Ari right now. But as I was saying, the other side, Dane Dunning has great splits against this Tigers offense, and the Tigers offense has been hit or miss all season, and so that's why I can't really trust them in this spot right now. So I'm going to go with the safe pick here, and I'm going to take the Rangers on the first 5 at plus money here at +115. I'm taking the better team through the first 5 for this reason, because of that fact, and even with Skubal having a great year, his splits against this Rangers team aren't that great. As I've been saying, the Rangers offense has been pretty quiet these first couple games, and they obviously kind of want to get one where their offense has at least some kind of proudness. So I think this is the game where their offense shoots out. So I don't really like the full game because maybe Skubal and he gets dialed in or whatnot, but I'm just going to take the first 5 here. I'm taking the Rangers through the first 5 on the money line at +115 here. And then we're going to go to Oakland here. And I'm taking the A's +1.5. I don't know. I think that's around like -130, 135 right now on DraftKings. But we're taking the A's here today. And the reason we're taking the A's is, it's one of those games where, it's the end of the series, one team's got to go one way, one team's got to go another way. And, anything can happen, but I really do like this matchup for the A's today against the Cardinals in this final home game. The A's bats have been kind of quietly been working really, really well this year, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Ari, I double checked, it's Lance Lynn starting for the Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Who is starting for the Cardinals today? Because I know I briefly saw it, but
I'm checking right now.
I'm not in front of a screen right now.
Steven
I'm sorry.
Matt. Steven
Oh, yeah,
Matz.
sorry. That's the guy who I was fading today. Yeah, Steven Matz. Look, this guy has been overperforming this year. I think he's been having a great year, but I think against this matchup, the A's do hit lefties pretty well. And I think in this matchup, he has some not the greatest splits against the A's right now. And I think that's a really bad matchup for this, Cardinals team. And even though I do think the Cardinals obviously win the full game, the A's bullpen has been an absolute mess all season. I like the A's to cover the +1.5 here. I think it's going to be a closer game. Obviously we talk about how, in the series finales for a lot of, these, midweek series, these underdogs are really profitable in the last games or, final game of the series just because, they really start their full lineups and, try to go all out versus, teams, like the Cardinals who are the heavy favorites who you expect to win. Sometimes, that's not how baseball works sometimes, but I'm taking this team just for the +1.5 on the run line here. I'm taking them to cover. I don't really like, the A's on the money line, but I would sprinkle that as well. And on the other side, we got to deal with, I believe it's Paul Blackburn starting for the A's. And, he does have good splits against this Cardinals team. That's going to be the one thing is, how the Cardinals are going to do against Paul Blackburn at home. And I think Blackburn is a lot better at home versus on the road. So that's why I'm taking the A's just to cover the +1.5 here. I think it's going to be a closer game. If anything, I would hope maybe the A's win. So that's why I sprinkle them on the money line. But I'm just taking the run line at +1.5. And then finally, we're going to go to Tampa Bay in one of the afternoon games. It's crazy. We have like 2 afternoon games today. And I'm going to take the Angels through the first 5 money line at -105 here. Look, I'm just taking the better team here with the better pitcher. I feel like, the Angels are a little undervalued today. I saw them at, I think, around even money, but now that line moved to 105. So I think there's a lot of value for the Angels through the first 5, and we all depend on the starting pitcher. And the starting pitcher for the Angels today is Reed Detmers. And he has absolutely great splits against this Rays team, not even hitting 100 on the season against him. I just feel like this Angels team is going to be, really, I think Reed Detmers cooks through that first 5. I think it's going to be, really hard for this Tampa Bay Rays team to really get any hits off of him. They don't really make too much contact. Reed Detmers is a strikeout / contact kind of fella. Beautiful. One out in Milwaukee. I don't know how it's going for you right now, but we got 1 out in Milwaukee, 5 down, 5 more to go. But right now I'm taking the Angels for the first 5. I like this. I like them for, in this spot right here. I'm taking the better team. And then obviously on the other side, I believe it's Zach Littell starting for the Tampa Bay Rays today. Does not have the greatest splits against this Angels team. This Angels team has been surprisingly hitting this Rays team really well recently, putting up great numbers. Obviously, Trout hitting the ball well. We talk about, the holistic lineup, Taylor Ward, Mickey Moniak coming as well. The reemergence of Luis Rengifo. I do believe that this Angels team leads through the first 5. I don't trust the full game because obviously when we get to the bullpens, obviously the Rays have a significant advantage in terms of their bullpen strength. But I'm taking the Angels through the first 5 at a little bit. I got it at 100 about even money, but it's gone to -105. So there's still some great value on the Angels through the first 5 today. So those are my 3 picks. The Rangers, who I hope are winning soon. The Angels the A's +1.5, and then the Angels through the first 5 later this afternoon on the money line. Ari, what have you cooked up today?
Gunnar Henderson home run off Pablo Lopez. And
was that a leadoff?
Yeah, it was a clean 1-2. It was the guy I was more worried about. He had a clean 1-2-3 in the top of the first, and then Pablo Turkey Lopez. Okay, on to my 3 plays. Bringing out the brooms. I don't have a broom on me right now. In Seattle, Mariners, Bryce Miller, who's arguably been the best pitcher for the Mariners so far, through every start. Going up against Andrew Abbott, going for the Mariners to get the sweep this afternoon, 1 o'clock, I believe, local time in Seattle. Obviously, it's been I think it's been like the last 6 straight starts for Mariners pitchers has been, what we were expecting, early in the season. And I'm looking for Bryce Miller to keep it going, at home. Abbott's been good as well. I think it's probably going to be a lower scoring game, most likely. But I'm more confident back in the Mariners. Then going to the Yankees, Blue Jays, Murphy, Stroman, Gossman. A little bit worried about Soto and Judge, who have had decent history against Gossman. But I'm confident in Stroman getting the job done. Just need 3 outs, obviously, from both teams. And then I'm kind of with you on the Angels, but in a different way, going the first 5 under in that game. Littell only gave up 1 run against the Angels in 4 1/3 in his last start, so he pitched well against them. And then Detmers, like you said, has been really good so far this year. Obviously, that could change. Rolling with both of them to get off to a good start. Under 4.5 first 5.
I love that play. Obviously, I don't know if you saw the fist, but I just got a third out there. So we are 3 outs away. Come on, Michael King. Come on, Michael King. But I do like the Mariners money line today. Obviously, I was leaning toward that as well. I'm just backing the Mariners. Me personally, I'm backing this over today. I think there's going to be a lot of bats, a lot of swings, and a lot of hits today. But I do like Bryce Miller at home, obviously. He has been cooking, obviously, especially at home. We talk about how the Mariners rotation at first, didn't really look like last year. But now with a couple starts under their belt, they're kind of getting to that form that, most Mariner fans and, a lot of people have seen from last year. So I do back the Mariners on the full game money line to kind of get the sweep, kind of get that momentum before their mini road trip. So I do like the Mariners. But hey, obviously, yeah, the Twins and Orioles Nerfy didn't cash for you. That's why we have another one in the background for you with the Yankees and Blue Jays. I like that one for you. Obviously, Kevin Gausman has been the one, inconsistent factor for you. Obviously, he has had an up and down season, but at home, I usually trust him a lot more. He is a lot better at home. And obviously, the last time they played the Yankees, that was in New York, and we saw how badly Kevin Gausman got lit up at New York at Yankee Stadium. But at home, he's a lot better. And then we talk about on the other side, Marcus Stroman, returning to Toronto, a place where he kind of birthed his career. I expect him to kind of, get those 3 outs as well, against a Blue Jays team that, is really inconsistent with the bats. And then, with the Rays and Angels, we were kind of both on the same way, obviously. So it's nice to see that, we're both kind of in the same vision, in terms of, what we were looking for in terms of the Rays and Angels for the first 5. You mentioned Zach Littell, having a great start, last time against this Angels team, and his decent splits there. And then obviously I just talked about how Reed Detmers and his great splits against the Angels, against the Rays, not allowing, I think, over 100 batting average, just great on the season. So, kind of backing the same team in both different ways. I also do like the Rays and Angels first 5 under 4.5. If I did not have the Angels first 5 money line, that would probably be the play I would be on as well, minus 120. I do like that play for you as well. Obviously, the Yankees and Blue Jays, Nerfy, that's going to be the bounce back, obviously, after the Gunnar Henderson homer that just absolutely ruined you this morning. And then, obviously, love backing the Mariners. Love backing the Mariners. I will never not say I hate backing the Mariners. I love this team, obviously. So, Mariners money line minus 135. That's a great price. You can find them at. Those are Ari's 3 plays. Going back to mine, obviously, one that's active right now with the Rangers first 5 money line. Hope they can get some good bats going against Tariq Skubal.
They're up 1-0. So they're up 1-0. So the Nerfy didn't hit in that game. So.
Hey, that's a Nerfy we were looking at. Oh, 4 outs. Here we go. All right, we need 2 more. Hey, if I'm smiling right now, we need 2 more outs here in Milwaukee. Obviously, this was my backup one. I just didn't know who the hell was starting for Milwaukee, but then they finally found it out. I saw this guy throwing a football. He was just throwing lasers down the plate. 3 outs. That's all we needed. But those are my 3 plays today as well. A's plus 1.5. And obviously the Angels with the first 5, and then obviously the Rays are already up. The Rangers are already up 1-0. So making me smile after a rough day yesterday. But obviously you can find all of these plays on our Twitter, AKP Sports Talk. That is where you can find all of these plays, and obviously our live today. We will be coming back with some more of these Nerfy live streams. Of course, we got some day games. I believe tomorrow. I don't know what the full schedule's looking like tomorrow. But whenever we have some day games and we have some Nerfies or even Yerfies that we like, we're definitely going to be sprinkling some of those on for you. And obviously, as we get to the end of this Nerfy here, we are. All right, I'm smiling right now. We're on a 1-2 count here. Michael King. He is dealing against William Contreras too. Oh, okay. Slider outside of the zone. Okay, 2-2. This is what we live for, man. This is what we live for. This is we're gonna be doing a lot more of these. I don't know how you're feeling, Ari, about this Nerfy live streams, but do you want to keep doing these?
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, obviously the good thing about
strike
them.
3. Let's go.
The good thing about them is like whether they hit or they don't, it's like quick and like that. Like that's why I like, I like them more than like full game because it's like you win or you lose. Rare, obviously that's the degenerate side of myself, but
I mean, yeah, you can have days where leadoff homer ruins your Nerfy. And then you can have days like, unfortunately, like mine, where we are 1 out away from this Nerfy. That should be a strike on the outside corner. Yes, it is. Thank you, That's a 0-1 count here. Jake Bowers. Oh, brother. Former Mariner here. Y'all know about Jake Bowers. Okay, that's barely on the outside. Okay, 1-1. Okay, 1 out away. 1 out away. We just needed 6 outs here. 6 outs. But you know what, Ari? Since we're still on the live stream, I don't really have any picks for tonight's playing games. But what do you like? In tonight's playing games, if you like anything between the Sixers and the Heat and the Bulls and the Hawks tonight.
Yeah, I didn't have any places in both of them because I don't have any confident, leans. And I think Philly wins, but I don't know if they cover the 5.5. And then the Hawks Bulls, I want nothing to do, want nothing to do with that game betting wise. So I think the Sixers and Bulls win, just straight up. But Philly's 5.5 point favorite. I don't know if they cover that. I think the Bulls are -3. I think. I'm staying away from both games.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is what we call 6 up and 6 down. There we go. 2-0 on the Nerfies for me. Oh, we're gonna keep doing these. Ari, I know obviously tough day with yours, but we're gonna bounce back with the Yankees and Blue Jays. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Obviously, man, I'm 2-0 with these Nerfies. I can't believe this. We're gonna keep it rolling. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's Ari. I'm Korea. And hey, I know you were talking about that. Maybe a Sixers Bulls parlay, maybe. Who knows? But obviously not a great night for the NBA. Obviously, just a bunch of playing games where we know who's winning. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow, obviously, with some more picks and potentially even a Nerfy stream. That's Ari. I'm Korea. We will see you guys tomorrow.